What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Socially Awkward Podcast. My name is Adam. I am back again with my friend for now, Ryan. We haven't got at each other's throat yet.
No, not yet.
It's always weird when you start like talking to someone like for the first time and you're kind of getting to know them and you're all buddy. And, you know, obviously my plan is to stay buddy, but when you start loosening up, that's when like the real friend shit comes out.
It's that they call it that honeymoon stage. Like, hey, are we friends? We friends? Okay, cool, yeah. And then like you're testing the waters and like, yeah. Do you like hot dogs? Yeah, but do you like them up your butt? Oh no, just kidding.
Dude. I'm not gonna lie, that came out of left field. Do you like them up your butt? I've never put a hot dog up my butt, believe it or not.
I have not either.
Dude, it's funny. My brother, he knows what we do, and he tells me all the time. He's like, dude, there is no way you have not ever sucked on a black dick. Talking about me because of our open. And I'm like, his name is Matt. I've actually invited him on the podcast. I thought it'd be fun if maybe he sat next to me one time and just came here in person. And he's a funny guy. I was like, believe it or not, I never have. Wow. So, for whatever reason, I'm not gay for black guys.
There we go. Hey, it's all good. Well, cool. Talking about left field.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure where this podcast was going to start off, but I'm actually really happy it started off like that.
Well, we're off to a great start. So, awesome.
You're like, please don't ask me the gayest thing I've ever done. Please don't ask me the gayest thing I've ever done.
Oh, man.
Look, what's that Tropic Thunder's like, come on, we're all gay once in a while.
Right. Oh, man. I swear I love that. I'm going to probably watch that tonight again.
Yeah, dude. Robert Downey Jr. He's like, I watched Avengers Age of Ultron, which, by the way, is a very underrated Avengers movie. Age of Ultron. I don't watch it that often, but every time I go back and watch it, especially that opening scene where it does such a good job of highlighting each one of their like superpowers. And I think that's the last version that I've seen of the Hulk where I thought that was the Incredible Hulk, especially in that first scene. And dude, and that's that scene with him and the Hulkbuster, Veronica. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, man, that's the Hulk I want to see in the movies. I was just talking to Katrina about this last night. What they did with the Hulk in the Infinity War and then Endgame is just unforgivable. Like the last two biggest Avengers movies we're gonna have for a long time, where I mean it's the classic Avengers, Iron Man, Thor, all of them, and they made Hulk the biggest like pansy. He had in that opening scene of Infinity War when he got in that 1 minute fight with Thanos and got his ass kicked. That's the last time we really saw the Hulk. I mean, when then we saw Professor Hulk, but I get it. That was in the comic books and whatever. But dude, it's just unforgivable that we didn't get to see the Incredible Hulk rage out, and at some point, especially in Endgame. I thought for sure in Infinity War, they were kind of. I just knew in my heart they were building the Hulk up. That he never hulked out. When that final scene with Thanos, he never hulked out. He stayed in the Hulkbuster. I'm talking about Bruce Banner. And then in Endgame, when he never got to fight Thanos again and just get his revenge in any way. It's just, I hate it. It's my least favorite part about those movies, especially Endgame, where the Hulk never broke out again. Drives me crazy every time I think about it.
No, I mean, you're right on that one. I mean, I think a lot of people had that same feeling and thought about that scene, especially even just watching it. Like, you can see that it was almost like they had to fake the acting because just how Thanos was attacking him and the Hulk he swung like whatever. they tried to explain, oh, this is why, but it's okay. I mean, it's not okay. It sucks, but there actually has been rumors on some sites that's saying that we might be getting or it's actually a World Breaker Hulk, World War Hulk is in production, or it might be being put out. Have you saw that?
I vaguely the last, I also heard that this was a couple years ago, so I don't know how true it is, that there were rumors because Marvel was trying to get the rights to like the X-Men
Hmm.
and stuff like that, that they were talking about doing a Hulk versus Wolverine movie. And that shit right there got me excited because I'm like, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge X-Men fan, but the idea of a Wolverine versus the Hulk is just like those two different styles. I mean, they're both kind of, very angry, but just that whatever storyline they came up with, and you had the Incredible Hulk versus Wolverine, like that sounds epic as shit.
Dude, for sure. Oh man, it's so damn epic. I mean, those two, this anger issue fools right there. Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be great. But just like they have everything they need. The issue with the whole Hulk thing, they're trying. I think Marvel's trying to get the rights to it, or get either the okay to do it, just like they did with Spider-Man,
Mhm.
from Universal, because Universal has rights to Hulk. So that's why I guess I heard and actually read something that you'll never see like in any of the Marvel movies, you won't see the Hulk by himself. He always has to be with another
Mm,
superhero, another Avenger, something like that. That's why he was in Ragnarok with Thor, and that's
gotcha.
why that it was imaging so much of the World Breaker Hulk, or World War Hulk storyline, because that's one of the stipulations. Hulk has to be with an Avenger for them to use the
I,
Hulk in the
I wonder why. Any idea?
this rights, right, the whole legal rights, stuff like that, because
Huh?
Universal still has full copywritten rights and like get all the money from it. So it wasn't a Hulk movie; it was a Thor movie. That's why Marvel got all the money.
Yeah, man,
So
we need some done by Marvel Studios. Like we need like another one, two, or three good Hulk movies. Like just like I
I think
know
they're
that
coming.
I know that there's a couple like who did them. Like I always forget the names, but the Hulk movies over the last 20 years. There's been a couple okay ones, but even the Spider-Man ones compared to what Marvel's doing with them, like I actually, you know what? I actually kind of enjoyed the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I actually thought it was a good movie. I think there's some cringy moments, of course, and then that whole crap with the who's the Black Spider-Man, like that whole thing,
the Venom,
Venom, yeah. That one where he came out trying to be looking like a bad boy when he was possessed by him. Like, dude, there's some like
like
some of
the
the
emo
cringe.
Spider-Man.
Yo, yeah, some the cringiest thing I've ever seen in a movie ever. But but Tom Holland, I mean, they're killing it with Spider-Man now.
Yeah,
It's amazing, and I feel like they could do something similar with the Hulk, but no more of this beta Hulk shit. I mean, we need the Incredible Hulk to like burn his bridges down every time he gets mad. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
You need to see the full power of what the Hulk is capable of.
dude,
I mean, they do a great job in the comic books of explaining that, but be able to see that on screen, that'd be freaking mind blowing.
yeah. Well, and I know that you have to scale it back some because I think in the comic books, if I read right, I've never read the comic books, but I've just read about the comic books a lot, so maybe I'm messing up. But I think the Hulk and some of the comic books got so mad he could like punch a planet and blow it up. Now
Yeah,
I know if he's that powerful, that doesn't work well on screen. But and I also heard that they also had to scale back um, Doctor Strange, like his powers in like, especially in the early comic books. Like I think back in the '60s, he was so powerful that
yeah.
they had to water him way back down to make him even cohesive in the movies. So.
Yes and no. So that's why, like, I with the whole Marvel universe, MCU. There we
Mhm.
go. MCU compared to the comic books, it's a whole different universe. So they're like, okay, yeah, things are similar, and that's why I believe they're going with the whole multiverse type of thing right now,
With
to
Spider-Man.
explain everything. Huh? With Spider-Man, Doctor
Oh,
Strange,
that's right.
WandaVision.
And
Uh,
Endgame kind of played into that, right? It's going to
yeah,
play into.
Endgame played a little bit into it, with the time travel and all that stuff.
Yeah,
That's different multiverses
yeah.
and timelines. Watch. I'm not sure if you watched Loki on Disney
I
Plus yet, but
have.
watch that.
It's really good.
That's the whole the multiverse and all stuff like that. So that's explains more on that. it's about to get real crazy and wild. They're setting up everything for to bring the X-Men's in, to bring different stuff in, Fantastic Four. Um,
Man,
it's yeah.
if they can somehow get enough of the rights to bring in these iconic characters from each of these little universes and start clashing them and meeting each other, fighting against each other. That's a good thing about comic books, especially like the Infinity Stones. There's there's endless opportunity to create storylines. I mean,
Oh yeah.
just if you just take the Avengers and the Infinity Stones, you could probably make 1,000 movies just because this Infinity Stone was in this person's hand and they grouped up with this person who had these Infinity Stones, and then it's just there's so many different things you can do. It's like they have a endless treasure trove of opportunity for content that is just unfair.
Ridiculously unfair. It's like, man, what they can do with this, like, obviously, as much content that they can create in movies and TV shows and stuff like that, we wouldn't be alive to watch it all.
No.
So
Hey, maybe you can answer this for me.
what's up?
How are they going to introduce a new Iron Man? Like, how does that work? Do they just do a full reset one day? I mean, like, how do you do
No.
that?
So they can do it with him coming in as a the whole multiverse, different Iron Man from there. What they're going to do though, they're going to introduce Ironheart. So basically, it's going to be they're going to introduce. I believe that they're going to have it so that you know how Jarvis was AI and all stuff like that, and
Yeah.
then they have Friday. Tony Stark will have created a AI because he knew what was going to happen with his intelligence inside of it. So he's down.
Okay.
So basically, he's going to have downloaded his whole intelligence because this is actually happens in one of the comic books called
Okay.
Ironheart, and then he's going to bless this girl's chick. I forget her name, and it's going to be a female, and she's going to get all of Tony's access to all his stuff because he's like, hey, you're worthy. You're the smartest kid that I know,
Mm-hmm.
and you're deserving of somebody from poverty who like basically poor, you know, in the hood, whatever, ghetto, whatever, like that. And then but she's gonna be a scientist, so she's gonna be going through all Tony Stark stuff and has his AI there. He's gonna be the Jarvis, basically,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, and then it's gonna help her create the suit. There's a whole comic book about it called Ironheart. I haven't read it, but I skimmed over it and the premise of it. They're gonna set up pretty good like that one. One, they're doing a lot of diversity stuff to mix everything in to get
Mhm.
representation. I get that, makes sense. But they can go either way. They can actually have it so if you really, really want Tony Stark, multiverse. We'll take this to Tony Stark from this one. But Robert Downey Jr., he's done. I mean, if anything, he'll be a cameo with the AI, but
Mhm.
that's it.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, you can't have Robert Downey Jr. at 60 years old still flying around as Iron Man. But my question is like more like in the future. Now, I get the Ironheart stuff. I know even Hawkeye, his daughter is like something in the future too, right? When she grows up.
She becomes a new Hawkeye.
Yeah, the new Hawkeye. Now, but here's my thing. 50 years from now, like what? Still no Tony Stark? I mean, at some point you have to reset. I mean,
No, yeah, they'll reset.
because
Eventually
Tony
if they
Stark
want
is Iron Man. Like I get all the spin-offs and this person, but at the end of the day, like Tony Stark is Iron Man, and people will
But
love to
is he?
see that.
Is Tony
Motherfucker, what do
Stark
you mean?
Iron
Is
Man?
he? Yes,
Or-
he is.
that. Iron Man is a suit.
Who do you
That's
think?
Persona.
Who created that damn suit?
Tony Stark created Iron Man.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I get
Yeah.
what you're saying. Yeah. Iron Man is. Yeah, I get it. But when he says I am Iron Man, I mean
Yeah.
he is Iron Man.
Correct.
Now-
Correct. Absolutely.
And now, by the way, I have no problem with, switching it up, because little girls would love to see, as long as they don't make the mistake Captain Marvel did, which is make a badass super female superhero at the expense of men to make them look like misogynist pigs the whole time, which is just not true. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying that, like, Black Widow's a perfect example of that. She's one of my favorite superheroes, and she's just badass, smart, relentless. Like I love her character.
Yeah.
So I have no issue with that, and especially when it's been done in the comic books, it's kind of in line with what they've already done. Like I have no problem with that, and I get it. But at the end of the day, I'm old fashioned in some ways. in a lot of ways, and I would love to see like who would play, like maybe it's 20 years from now when people have kind of forgotten about Robert Downey Jr. and the new generation, like who's the next Tony Stark? Who is that kid? You know what I mean? And
yeah, that's a real good question.
And when I'm 60, 70 years old, I'll be excited to see who it is, and I'll be looking back like a grumpy old fuck and saying, nah, Robert Downey Jr. was way better. And he probably will be.
I'm pretty sure we all would do that. I mean, hell, that's what happens with the Star Wars community, but that's a whole nother topic. This is this ain't my Star Wars. This ain't my superhero. This ain't my Iron Man, and this ain't this. But no, yeah, you're absolutely right on this one. We don't know yet. It might be somebody who's an up and coming. People were even thinking that the kid from Iron Man 3
Oh yeah, I saw that.
was going to be the new Tony Stark or something like that, or the new Iron Man. So it might be. I mean, I can be completely wrong. Who knows?
The thing with Chadwick Boseman, or Boswick, how you say it? I'm sorry, how you say it? Boswick?
Yeah.
Boseman?
Yeah.
Chadwick, okay. I heard that they're not going to recast that. So I mean, come on, you got to have a Black Panther, right?
So that's a touchy situation for them. They put themselves in the pickle. Now, to honor him as the character Black Panther, amazing. But even if, like, he, rest in peace, he did an amazing job. We're all gonna pass sometime.
Yeah.
And if even like you said, Robert Downey Jr. is gonna pass. Chris Evans gonna die pretty soon. Not soon, but sometime.
Jesus, DePaul.
Not soon. That was a slip.
Hemsworth's on his way out. Trust me on that.
He actually did a great job as Black Panther, because before I didn't really care anything about Black Panther. I thought he was an overrated superhero, just like I think of Captain America is overrated. But now I'm watching, like, okay, I like them both now. It makes perfect sense. This is a good movie. I understand the character more now. Amazing. I just wasn't into the comic book version, but it's gonna happen. He will always be Black Panther. They're gonna honor him somehow, but I think they're going to bring it up another way. They might, hell, you never know. They might bring up Michael B. Jordan back and have him reprise Killmonger, and then somehow he got resurrected or something like that, and he amnesia or some spell happened. I don't know.
Or maybe in the multiverse. Think about this. Maybe in the multiverse, Michael B. Jordan's character, as a kid, he gets the opportunity, like somehow in Wakanda and the family lineage, and then he grows up and he becomes Black Panther. By the way, Michael B. Jordan is he's kind of underrated. Like, I don't know if I hear his name a lot, but when I saw him as a Killmonger, I was like, dude, he could have been Black Panther. That dude's a stud.
So it's funny you mentioned that. I just saw a video on this. Michael B. Jordan is the actual correct size of Black Panther. Black Panther is 6 feet. Michael B. Jordan's 6 feet. He has the same physique and everything like that. Killmonger actually in the comics is 6'6", 6'7". He like tower. He's as tall as you.
Yeah. Dude, if I was 6'7", you never hear the end of it. Trust me. I'm 6'5", and I don't shut the fuck up about it.
Okay, 6'5". So, but Killmonger is 6'6", 6'7". But and so they're like, well, will this be right? But Chris Boswick, sorry, he was shorter, so it actually it may look right on the film, because you couldn't really tell. You didn't have a damn tape measure there, but it made it look right. But yeah, you're absolutely. I mean, people have been saying like, "Hey, why don't you just make Michael B. Jordan the new Black Panther?" But they're like, I'm interested.
It's too close to him
goes.
already being the bad guy. It'd be too confusing right now.
It would be, but with the multiverse, they can make anything happen.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I said they can spin that. Just use the multiverse as a way. Just his story. You know how it is. Like, something changes in your childhood.
With What If? Watch What If.
I've watched a couple of those. They're okay. Like, I'm not a big cartoon guy when it comes to like superhero stuff. I don't know. I like the movies.
I liked it. It was good, and it was. I mean, I like cartoons, so it's all good. But I mean, it told the story well of different multiverses. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But
wait, so they did Killmonger coming up as Black Panther?
Not as Black Panther. No, not as Black Panther. It was They made Killmonger. No, I'm not going to spoil it. Watch
Okay,
it.
I'll watch it.
We watch the episode. Just watch the episode, the Killmonger episode, and you'll see it. It's 30 minutes. You'll like it.
Do you have any interest in this Eternals stuff? I'll be honest. I don't even know what it is.
About the Eternals. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Because it's Marvel. I haven't watched. I'm behind. I'm behind on Venom. Let it be Carnage. I'm behind on.
I never even saw the first one because I've heard it was pretty bad.
The first one?
Yeah.
You never saw the first Venom?
No.
Watch it. It's
Tom
decent.
Hardy.
Yeah,
I like Tom Hardy, by the way. He's a good actor.
Yeah, you'll like it.
Think so?
Yeah, you'll like it.
Okay, because I heard it was pretty cheesy.
Don't look at it as, oh, this is about to be the. Don't expect to see Spider-Man. It's just a Venom.
Just go with an open mind and just let it be what it is.
It's an action superhero movie or action anti-superhero movie, and you like it.
So Venom's thing is he's like a bad guy, but he turns out doing good stuff. Is that kind of what it is? Okay.
Kinda, yeah. And anti superhero. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like, I'm not a superhero, but it's like Deadpool. He's not a superhero, but he'll still do the right thing.
Okay. I'll watch it.
Yeah, watch it. But yeah, the Eternals, Shang-Chi, I haven't watched that one yet, so I gotta watch all those. But I'm going, like I said, I'm going in with open mind, because every time I'm go in expecting things,
yep,
I'm always disappointed.
I just don't even know what to be as far, because dude, I was heavy into Marvel for probably the whole since Iron Man. I mean, it was okay with Iron Man, but then when it started to get into like the later ones, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ragnarok, and then Infinity War. I mean, by the time Infinity War and Endgame came around, I mean, I was deep. Like, I never left a movie theater so pissed off in my life, Ryan, after Infinity War, because I didn't know there was going to be another one. And I was like, I sat there and I was walking to the car with my family, like visibly pissed off. I'm like, what, the bad guy fucking won? Like, what the hell is going on here? I was like, the Hulk never hulked out. Like, half the superheroes are fucking dust right now. I'm like, what just happened? And then they have the nerve to push out the next one for a whole year. That's the longest year of my life, dude.
Bro, right? We all was like, what in the world is going on? Like, you left the theater felt with the emptiness. It's like, this ain't right. I just feel like I just got violated.
Yeah, didn't feel good at all.
No. But and see, here's the thing. You said something, Guardian of the Galaxies. When they announced that, I had no idea what that was. I'm like,
I didn't either.
I was like, I'm not excited for this at all. I watched it, I was like, this was a good ass movie.
Yeah.
I was shocked. So yeah.
Just got to give him a chance, I guess.
Exactly.
One thing Guardians of the Galaxy did a really good job of doing was incorporating like classic songs. And
yes,
even in, was it Infinity War, that scene where the Guardians of the Galaxy pop up in the movie, and it's like dun 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 dun, and they start playing Rubber Band Man. It's like, right when before you even see them, you hear the music, they're about to introduce into the movie. It was such a cool, and they did such a good job pairing up like Rocket and Thor, and that whole relationship. They did really good with those. I honestly, when I look at them from the perspective of just like a good superhero movie, I actually enjoyed Infinity War more than Endgame. But that's just
really,
yeah. Because I don't know, I felt like there was more superhero stuff going on.
There was. I think in the Endgame, people were doing more like grieving and trying to figure things out, and then but yeah, there's more action in the beginning with Infinity War. I agree with you on that one.
Well, and one thing I love about Endgame was whenever Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America got into that fight with Thanos. We're about 2 years late on this podcast right now, by the way.
Right.
I haven't talked about this with anybody but my wife for 2 years. Okay, so, but that scene, man, there was no single moment that got you hyped up more than when Captain America picked up Mjolnir.
Yeah.
And Thor's like, I knew it. Because there's that scene, and I think it was Age of Ultron, actually.
It was.
Where they're having that pissing contest. Who can pick up hammer? Of course, no one can. And Captain America moved it like a millimeter. And that look on Thor's face is like, boy, that's not supposed to happen. And I love that they tied that back in, because that's the moment when, from then on, Thor knew. And what makes Captain America so awesome is that he knew that was like Thor's thing. He didn't want to steal his thunder. I mean, literally. That was pun not intended, but that was a good one. Because you can either move Mjolnir or you can't. So when he moved it, he could just right there tells you he could have just picked it up and did the whole thing, because he didn't, because he didn't want to embarrass Thor. I mean, that's my theory.
I heard that one too. That he didn't want to. No, that's his thing. Is like, I'm not gonna take his thunder, literally.
Now you're right when you said that Black Panther and Captain America both, they're kind of boring superheroes, really, but or you said something like that anyway.
Yeah, I feel like they're both overrated, but until I really understood the story and saw everything on this big screen, I was like, oh, okay, you guys are cool. I like it.
Oh, okay, yeah. But the fact that he could wield Mjolnir and have the power of Thor is pretty, looking back on now, is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Do we ever get too old for this, do you think?
No, never. And whoever says you do, F them. Screw them. Fuck you. Awful. No.
It's like you live one time on this earth. It's fun to have things to geek out over. It's fun. You know what I mean?
It is.
It's like, what am I supposed to do? Look at fucking pie charts all day and figure out analytics? Like, get off my back. I love superheroes.
Dude, like it's that fantasy world that you're like, okay, this is what I want to be. You see something inside you. You have that idolization. It's like, oh, I wish I can do that, or I see this feat or this trait in this person that I have in myself, or I had that relatability. That's why my favorite superhero, Spider-Man.
I was just about to ask you who your favorite superhero was.
Yep.
I would not have guessed Spider-Man, because that's usually teenagers' favorite ones, because they identify with him because he's like 15, 16 years old in the comics. He's a nerd, you know what I mean? Like a dork. Why is he your favorite?
For me, he is relatable.
Okay.
So the whole 16 and 17, but when he still gets older, and even in comic books, he has a life. He gets married. He has kids. But he always struggled. He wasn't like, I'm using my superhero for fame and fortune. He swung around, took pictures of himself, and sold them to the Daily Bugle to make ends meet. He had a job still.
Yeah.
Until until it came out, it's like, yeah, I'm Spider-Man, I'm Peter Parker. And then his life went to crap because everybody tried to kill his fucking family. So he was constantly on the move. But it's just his struggle, and like what he went through is like he never gave up. Shit was against him. He constantly got beat down, but he never gave up. And life happened. People died. You know, he didn't sway the wrong way. So only one time when he came close to going the wrong way with the black suit, the symbiote suit, because it was messing with his head and everything and going off his emotions, but he still didn't go cross that line. You know? So it's like, all right, great. It was just so relatable as a person, and he held back so much. Like if there's one what is it? I think it's called Back in Black. But there's one comic book when.
So you actually read the comic books?
I skim off. I watch them on the online. I don't actually. I have comic books, but not the Spider-Man ones.
So most of them you just it's like a digital comic book.
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And I mean, if I see something like a video that catches my interest, like, oh, I want to see that story. I want to hear that story, how that story plays out. I'll go ahead and read it. But this one had a panel when he went after the Kingpin, because the Kingpin put a hit out on Aunt May, and he
oh wow,
because they found out that who Spider-Man was, Peter Parker. So he put a hit out on Aunt May, took her out, and she was in the hospital on life support. He went and found Kingpin in jail in front of all the criminals and said, he beat the fucking brakes off of Kingpin. And he said, you better fucking pray. You better fucking pray that Aunt May.
Did he say fucking?
He didn't say fucking.
Oh, I was gonna say that'd have been badass.
he drops some. He's like, you better hope and pray that she lives,
Oh
because
my
she doesn't,
gosh.
I'm coming back and literally gonna kill you.
Wow.
She died.
That's cool. Oh, she did?
Yeah, she died. He didn't go kill her, but because Mary Jane stopped him and all that stuff like that. He came back to his sense, but this man literally grabbed Kingpin by his titties and lifted him up, no shirt, by his titties, like, and like
Spider-Man's pretty freaking strong though.
he is super strong, and that's when like people like, don't fuck with him,
Wow.
leave him alone.
We haven't really seen Tom Holland Spider-Man get really pissed. I mean, he got a little pissed, I guess, at what's not Magneto, Mysterio.
Mysterio, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of attitude from him. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing a darker side, even for a little bit in the movie.
I would like him to almost lose control. Yes.
Huh.
Just like to know like what's possible, because people don't realize how strong Spider-Man is. That's the thing. It's like,
Yeah.
when the one comic book that they had, and I didn't read this one, but when I can go talk about this all the time, but Doc Ock swapped bodies with Spider-Man, and Dr. Octopus's mind was in Spider-Man's body, and he was like, people thought he was Spider-Man. He's like, okay, well, I'm gonna live this life, whatever. He punched Scorpion, didn't realize how strong Spider-Man was, punched Scorpion's jaw straight off. And he like stopped. He's like, oh my God. Spider-Man has been Peter Parker has been holding back this whole time when he fights people.
He may not even realize it though.
Yeah.
Like Peter Parker doesn't even realize how, because kind of ties into what we're just saying. He hasn't lost it yet, so he doesn't know. Like, he hasn't had that, like, at least in the movies, that moment where it's something so serious on the line that he has no choice but to rage out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we haven't seen that. I mean, he's been in some tough spots, but nothing that seems completely insurmountable unless he loses his mind. That'd be very interesting.
It's gonna happen. They're gonna play out there. Who knows? This next one, he going through some stuff because he's gonna be wanted. You know.
I saw a video. Was it a trailer?
Yeah.
There's a trailer out now, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that now it went from Tony Stark and now they're pairing him with Doctor Strange, and I love the concept. And there's no spoilers here. There's already a trailer out on this, guys.
Yeah.
From what I gather, he wants to go back and use Doctor Strange to try to use the Time Stone to basically erase everyone's knowledge of him being Spider-Man.
Correct.
And apparently, and I'm sure there's gonna be some curveballs that we don't. Obviously, there will be curveballs that it won't play out exactly like we think it's going to. But he's gonna help or try to help, and I'm guessing that's how we get the multiverse. Like, it fucks everything up. Is that what we're looking at?
It's gonna tie into how we got the multiverse. That's why, because Doctor Strange's movie is gonna be called Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, that's gonna be so good.
Yeah, right.
Jesus Christ.
This one's gonna actually tie in. That's why people are like speculating. They haven't confirmed, but they're saying that other Spider-Mans is going to be in this new Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Well, who's the other kid?
Andrew Garfield.
Garfield. Yep.
So this, it's going to be a good one. We're hoping that it actually happens.
That would be so cool, man.
Doc Ock characters in there.
Oh yeah.
Octavius. So, and you hear the lizard, not the lizard. Sorry, the lizard's supposed to be in it, and then Sandman.
Oh my gosh.
It's gonna be a whole Electro, because Jamie Foxx, they said already confirmed he's gonna be in this one.
Are you serious?
Yep.
It's almost like a in-game type Spider-Man. It's like a culmination of all the Spider-Mans almost.
So here's the thing. This is my theory on this one. Is that a few years ago, when Sony saw how popular and how good Marvel was doing, there's like, okay, well, we want that, so we're gonna create a Sinister Six since we have the Spider-Man rights, because we let them use it, and they never put that in motion. They tried to. No Way Home introduced the Vulture.
Yep.
No Way Home. Homecoming. that introduced the Vulture,
Okay.
the first Spider-Man, and then so you had all those things trickling down. Then you got the Mysterio. You don't even know if Mysterio's actually dead. It could be an illusion. But
Never know with that mother sucker.
Right? So you never know. I'm leaving it at that. But the whole thing is with everything that's going on, Sony wanted that whole the Sinister Six. I think that Sony and Marvel made an arrangement, say, let us use Spider-Man. We'll help you set up your Sinister Six movies and even help you create it. Just continue to let us use Spider-Man. And
that would be a brilliant move.
Yeah. So they're going to, and with the whole multiverse, they're going to pull some of the Sinister Six characters out of there and tie them into the whole this new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Show their stuff. They go back to their multiverses. Sony's multiverse might be tied into this one now. So hey,
well, if there was a deal like that and they didn't take it, and that's not what's going on, then they all need to be fired, because no one is going to watch that stuff just on its own out of the blue. I mean, you'll get some people that are maybe like old time fans of that stuff, but if you can tie the now here and now Spider-Man into it and just really work together, everybody can win, and they'll make $1 billion a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. They might even kill Tom Holland Spider-Man's off and actually bring in Miles Morales, because they are looking to create the new Avengers, and the Young Avengers. So that's what's being in place too. The Hawkeye series that come out, that his daughter's gonna become the new Hawkeye. They're going to have a new Iron Man. You already know that one. So they bring out She-Hulk, all that stuff. They're going to have that. So I think that they might bring in Miles Morales as a Spider-Man. They might bring a multiversal Spider-Man, so that Sony doesn't have rights to.
You know what? Honestly, I'd say it's about damn time, because look, War Machine's cool and all, but you need better superheroes than War Machine.
Yeah.
By the way, I like Don Cheadle, but I think his acting as War Machine was cheesy as fuck. Okay, I actually thought that Terrence Howard. Now, Mark Cheadle or Don Cheadle kind of does look the part more than what's his name?
Terrence,
thank you. Terrence Howard. But I think Terrence Howard's a better actor. I actually liked him in the first Iron Man. Now, he was a little bit taller than Tony, and I know the suits are like the exact same size, I think, or maybe he made them for War Machine specifically. I don't know. But anyways, I guess it's not that important. But Don Cheadle's okay. I thought I don't know.
I had mixed feelings too at first. I was like, dude, you ain't War Machine. That's Terrence Howard stuff. What are you doing? And then
he's like, next time, baby.
Cut his parts away. I'm like, all right, cool. I see what you guys are doing. It wasn't even really a supporting role. It was more of like a comic relief. And then when they showed him into what was it, number 2, fighting the aim bots and all that stuff like that. I'm like, okay, well, that's a nice little calling for War Machine to show him like that, but didn't really give him like any kind of like major screen time like that.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, and in Iron Man 1, they really teased it. No, was that Iron Man 1 or Iron Man 2? Where he's like,
Iron Man 1.
Where he's like, next time, baby.
That's 1. That's
okay.
Terrence Howard,
yeah. Okay. And the second one, yeah, that's right. War Machine and Iron Man had that fight in his mansion, and I know. Well, obviously we'll never know. There's no point spending a lot of time on it, but
yeah,
I would have liked to seen what Terrence Howard did with that character, because he's a good actor.
He is. He really is. He's very diverse, and like people, he's underrated too. I think. I just hear that. I don't know. I've never met him in person, but here he's kind of hard to work with.
Yeah.
But
I heard him and Robert Downey Jr. didn't particularly get along on that set either.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I don't know. Who knows?
That's fine. I mean, he wasn't there, so I mean, but for the most part, great actor. I think he does good stuff. I would love to saw him as Iron Man. I mean, not Iron Man. War Machine. Yeah. But yeah, so.
Switching gears. Did you do anything for Halloween? Take your kiddos out for trick or treating?
So my daughter was with her mother. So she wasn't with me. She sent me some pictures of her. She was dressed up as a mermaid. I actually stayed home. Me and my wife went to Monterey Saturday, and then we drove back Sunday. So we stayed overnight, and then we drove back last night. Well, yesterday. I hand out candy. That's all I did. Stayed at home.
I like
Got some
handing out
food.
candy. It makes you feel mature for whatever reason. That's like but
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. So we did that. And it was. I gotta tell you my story about the whole the Monterey trip, but well, I'll come back to that one. But so yeah, handed out candy. I thought I was doing something special, doing full size candy bars for the kids because I thought they had a rough year and stuff like that with
Parents are
everything
like,
going
what
on.
the hell?
But shit, hell, half of the damn country is doing full size. I'm like, well, I ain't special no more. Oh, shit.
That is funny. A full candy bar, dude. That's when they get about 1,000 pieces of little candy bars, I don't think there's a yearning for huge candy bars. I think they're good. Actually, I prefer the. I mean, I'm old, so I guess I prefer the little candy bars because I can eat one and hopefully not pick up 20 more. But
it's funny you said. Same here. I was like, I got candy full size, but I'd rather have a little fun size. So I just pop in my mouth. It's a bite size. I'm good. It's like I don't have to worry about wrappers and stuff like that.
Are you more of a chocolate, like sweet and salty chocolate type candy person, or do you like more of like Skittles, Starburst, like fruity type stuff?
I'm more of a chocolate person.
Yeah, me too.
Caramel and chocolate. I'll eat Skittles and like the fruity stuff like that. But I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love like Sour Patch Kids. I love those, or like those things. But
yeah, I like the sweet and sour ones.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah.
What's your favorite like candy bar?
Okay, here. I was gonna say Snickers, but no, it's not. Nutrageous. Reese's Nutrageous.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. That's really good.
Love those things.
Huh.
Oh man.
I've always been like my favorite's always been I really like Heath bars, but they're not my favorite. Yeah, Heath bars are really good. They get up all in your teeth for at least an hour, but
man, right?
But they're delicious. That's my favorite candy bar, man. Last night, man, I should have took that gummy about an hour ago because I haven't eaten since. I've had a gummy. Now my mind can't stop thinking about all these candies. A Reese's. I love the Reese's cups. Those are freaking delicious. I know it's not a candy bar, but
it's a candy bar.
You consider that a candy bar? A Reese's cup?
Yeah, it's a candy. Yeah,
but it's not a bar.
It's not a bar, but it's a candy. It's a candy. It's in the family of candies.
Yeah. And I like Twix are pretty good. But last night I had a Kit Kat for the first time in fucking 5-10 years. I forgot how good Kit Kat bars are. Holy shit!
Do you drink coffee?
Yes.
Have a Kit Kat and coffee. Delicious.
Oh man, killing me now, dude. I think we have some too. I think we still have some Kit Kats from last night.
A hot cup of coffee and some Kit Kat, might. Oh, it's almost as good as a donut and coffee. It's delicious.
Are you a breakfast person? Do you get up and have coffee and eat breakfast and all that?
I'll have coffee. I'm a coffee guy for sure, but I don't eat breakfast as much anymore because when I did start eating breakfast, I started gaining a lot more weight.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm like, no, I just drink my coffee and then I'll have lunch and dinner.
Yeah, not eating breakfast is actually kind of smart. When you're little, they said it's the best meal of the day, but I actually maybe they still say that, but because I'm not gonna lie, the worst I eat is at night at like midnight, 1 a.m. And so I kind of I'll wake up, I'll have some coffee. Usually, I don't eat breakfast or eat something till like noon or 1. So I kind of feel like I'm sort of like intermittent fasting because I'll go like 12, 14 hours just because of the time I slept and then woke up and just had a little bit of, a cup of coffee or two. So there's all that time where you're kind of lazily intermittent fasting. But by the time I do eat something, it's usually like, man, we have this place in town called Stu's Clean Cooking. It's kind of like these bigger places. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. Maybe that's just a local thing, but they have these pre-made meals, and man, they have like 300-400 calories a piece, but it's delicious, man. Like this one I have for breakfast. It has little has bacon, like bits of bacon, and little chunks of sweet potato, cooked onions, and you heat it up, and then you take it. After 2 minutes, you add 2 eggs, stir it up, and recook it for another like minute and a half or so. And it just comes out. It's just like this delicious, healthy breakfast. I eat those every day. And I have no idea why I'm telling you all that, but
It sounds good.
I'm on this food. This may become the food podcast if I don't go eat something pretty quick. Dude, when I grocery shop, if I've had a gummy or if I haven't eaten in like half a day, dude, I buy everything, dude. I love food so much.
Yeah, see, I'm a foodie myself, and that's why if I go to Costco, I'm like, nah, I gotta eat something before I go to Costco. So I buy. They're like, oh, you can't leave Costco with a $200 bill. You damn right. If I'm hungry, I'm coming out with a $500 bill. I'm like, screw that. But yeah, but you were saying something. Halloween. Like, what you got? I know you got 2 kids. What did the kids do anything, or are they too old now, or what?
The oldest is kind of too old, and she was working, but the youngest, she's 14, almost 15. She dressed up as Tiger, and we took her trick or treating. Just me and Katrina, we kind of took turns driving, and then would like pull up a couple blocks, get up. One of us would walk with her, down the street and do that thing, and it was a good time, man. Like it was nice to see everybody out and about. Lots of kids out there. No one wearing masks. We're outside, which was nice. Like it felt normal. You know what I mean?
I mean, they had masks on, but just not like the surgical.
Yeah. I've never been really huge on Halloween, but kids love it. So
No, I mean, I haven't either. I mean, as a kid, of course, but it's like, whatever. I mean, if the kids like it, there you go, dressed up, it's cute, and I love seeing the kids, their faces light up, and you give them candy. So, it's like, oh, here we go, hey, yeah. It's like it's win-win. I mean, Halloween is just. I've always been very cautious with Halloween. And I would say always been cautious, but I like movies, but I don't like the normal shit. And like when it comes to Halloween, like how people like, oh,
are you scared of it, or you just don't like it?
Oh, I'm scared of it, like paranormal stuff.
Yeah,
I'm very scared of paranormal stuff.
So do you believe in ghosts then?
Okay,
well, you have to if you're scared of it.
I believe in it. I don't associate with that shit.
So the answer is yes. You believe in ghosts, right?
Yeah, ghosts exist. Spirits exist. Yeah.
Man, I'm agnostic on this stuff. I just say I don't know, but I'm like, I feel like, man, my brain goes back and forth. Part of me is like, that's stupid. People just, I think we've built up these fears in our mind, and then if you want something to be true, you can find little things to say this and this and this happened. But at the same time, what the fuck do I know? I mean, maybe it's happened,
This is what I tell people. When people say, hey, do you believe in this, or is this true? I'm gonna tell you this. Man in general, the human species is smart. They're intelligent. Very creative. But you don't just create something out of fucking nothing. Every legend, every ghost story, everything, every movie, everything we've seen is based off of some kind of experience.
Okay.
Of what something that has happened to somebody in their life, or what they've heard has happened, and you don't just conjure up those kind of stories for no freaking reason.
Okay.
So something has happened to happen, whether it was like that extreme or not. Something had to put that thought process or that idea in that head, so to pass it on to the next person. It might be bigger than what you think, but hey, spirit wise, I think that shit exists. I don't mess with it.
You don't do Ouija boards?
No, I've never seen Ouija boards in my life. Nope. This is why. My family, my grandparents, they have a house, and I used to stay there a lot sometimes. And I used to hear them talk about ghosts and stuff like that. Like the house, they had a ghost in a certain room. I'm like, it's an older house, and so I'm like, okay, cool. The ghost would move the bed.
You saw this?
Yeah, my grandmother, my grandparent, my grandfather, my mom had experienced it. Even my auntie. I never experienced it. I never wanted to experience it. And it would move the bed, and like not like somebody was there. Like they would say, no, this actually moved the bed. They would have to tell the ghost to stop, because sometimes it will start shaking the beds. Like, and we get earthquakes out here. It's like, you sure it wasn't an earthquake? Like, no. They'll tell it to stop, and like, stop it, and it'll stop. I'm like, fuck that. It only happened in that downstairs room.
Wow.
So I would never. I'm like, nah, I'm not sleeping in that fucking room. So, do I believe it? they exist, yes. Have I experienced anything like that in my life? No, because I shut myself off from it. Because
Do you
I
think that
believe,
matters?
yeah, it does. If I'll tell you this, if you open yourself up to it, they will come in your life. Yes, yes, it does matter.
That sounds like some woo woo stuff, though. If
It could be, it could be, but I know one thing: when I get fucking chills and the hair on the back of my neck and my whole body. Here you go. I remember I said that we went down to Monterey this past weekend. Me
Mhm.
and my wife.
Yeah, what happened there?
So we went this hotel she wanted to stay at. Nice hotels, ocean view, over oceanfront view, open windows. Hear the water hitting the. It's like a little beach right there at the bottom,
Mhm.
just splashing. Beautiful. Big. I didn't realize how big the room was, but it had a divider in it, and it was like almost two rooms. They made one, and you'll have conjoining doors,
Yep.
conjoining rooms. So they had those kind of doors. So I walked into the second room. I was like, oh, I didn't know this was big. Right when I walked in that room, instant chills. For no fucking reason. Like something ain't right with this room. Something ain't right with this room. Nope. Like I'm even talking about it right now. I'm getting goosebumps. The hair on the back of my like something ain't right with that room. I walked out of it. I'm like looking around, like, oh, okay, I'm getting the heck out of this room. So I didn't say anything to my wife because my wife loves that shit.
Yeah.
And so
Wait. She loves like the paranormal stuff.
paranormal shit.
Okay.
Yeah. She's like, oh yeah, because she said she's had an encounter with that. I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't fuck with that. No. I got many stories of those. That actually, yeah, man, yeah. I'll remind me to tell you two other stories about once another time.
Okay.
But so later on, before we went to sleep, she's like, yeah, so is that room part of this room? I was like, yeah. She's like, you don't keep the light on in that room. I was like, why? I'm like, why? She's like, something about that room I just don't like. I'm like, we're closing that fucking door and locking it. She's like,
So you both independent of each other had the same feeling about it.
yes,
That's okay. That's crazy.
yes.
Did you talk about it? Did you ever go experience anything in the room or just?
We didn't go and sit, and I locked the fucking door. I don't play around with that. I told you I don't play around with that. So we went to sleep. I locked the door. I kept the light on in that room. Locked the door so you can't see anything in there. But then the next day I asked the lady. I was like, hey, we were checking out. I was like, hey, so is that room haunted? Not the main room, but the second. That's like, no, I don't know. I was like, okay. She said, why? I was like, just had some weird feelings in there, and like, she said, did you guys experience something? I was like, no, not necessarily. We didn't experience, just weird vibes and weird
Wow.
feelings from me and my wife both before we even talked to each other about it.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, well, I said, well, yesterday, today is Halloween. I was like, yep, it was Halloween Eve. Yes, correct. So, but do I believe in it? Yes. Do I associate with it and mess with it? Fuck no, because that shit, I'm cool. I don't want to even test it. Paranormal stuff, no.
Man, I used to have a hard time sleeping because my imagination just goes so crazy. And I would literally lose hours and hours. Sometimes I couldn't go to sleep until the sun came up because of my mind was playing tricks on me. And I would think that there was like some sort of shadow moving. And I mean, there's some times I've got up out of bed, went and flipped lights on, and there's just nothing there. And I'm like, I think I'm just seeing shit, man. Because like when the lights are off, if you stare off at a wall long enough, you kind of, when everything's trying to adjust, it just like shit will like start shape shifting. You know what I mean? Have you ever done anything like that?
Yeah.
But you know what? Honestly, it was like a couple months ago, and I'm almost 40. Okay, I was laying in bed one night. I had a gummy. So I was thinking about some real deep shit, and I was like, dude, why the fuck am I scared of a ghost? I mean, I'm laying there and I'm like, I've never seen a ghost move anything. As far as I know, they go most of the time, they're just going through walls and shit. I was like, even if there is a ghost in here right now, what the fuck is that ghost going to do to me? And dude, I swear to God, Katrina was laying next to me and I was surprised I didn't wake her up. I was laying there and I started in my head and kind of audibly going, I go, if you're in here, have at it, bitch. I'm going to sleep. I don't care anymore. I said, I'm done. I'm done being scared. You don't scare me anymore. I'm over it. Fuck you. And I literally, I was like looking up at my dark room. I was like, fuck you. And I went to sleep. I was like, I'm done being scared of this shit. So I don't know. Maybe one will stab me in my sleep and they'll blame it on Katrina or something. I don't know.
They won't stab you. I mean, so the ghost won't stab you, but there are such things as possessions.
She better get possessed real quick and be really strong, because if that girl comes to me with a knife possessed, I will snap her neck.
That's what they do. It makes you, from what they portray on stories and movies and shit like that, and it gives you unreal, what's the word? Not divine, but unruly powers and shit like that, like strength and shit like that. You can do things that the normal person couldn't do. But hey, I mean, like I said, I just don't invite it into me. I'm like, nope, I'm cool. Like the movie that scared the one movie that scared the crap out of me, Paranormal Activity. I literally had tears in my eyes. Like my ex, and here's the thing. This was messed up about that one. My ex-wife, when I was watching, I almost broke. I was squeezing her hand. She had to say, "Could you stop squeezing my hand? You're literally hurting me." I was like, "Oh, my bad." But they did such a good job on promoting that movie, and even when I watched it at the end, the movie theater didn't show any credits. They just like stopped it.
Wow.
And then,
so it made you believe it was like it actually happened.
Yeah, because it says like based on a true story, and it was a L.A., Los Angeles, and blah blah blah. I'm like, what the fuck? And so until a week later, I saw the crew and the cast on Good Day America. I was like, I thought that was completely real. I was like, fuck,
dude.
This.
Were you at the podcast? You were there for a little bit last night with mine and Katrina's podcast. Did you hear me talk about the Blair Witch thing?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
The exact same thing happened to me with the Blair Witch Project, but I was like 18 years old or something. And me, my brother, and my cousin went to go watch it. And where we lived at the time, we lived in this trailer, and behind the trailer was right off this little dirt road. And behind the trailer was just nothing but woods, just forest, right?
Yeah.
So after the movie, we got home. I was driving. I have never got out of my car and sprinted into my house so fast in my life, because I thought it was, because the way it was promoted, the way it was shot, it was like that home camera thing in that part where the whatever that is, the witch or whatever, knocks the dude over, and doesn't the movie kind of end with just the camera on the ground or something like that? Like she killed all of them eventually.
Yeah,
that was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then like exactly what you said, it was like a week or two later, maybe a couple weeks later, I was watching MTV, and the fucking crew was like talking to, I don't know, whatever that dude's name is that was on MTV for a million years.
Probably Carson Daly.
yeah, Carson Daly. I think it was somebody like that. Okay, this is like back when he had the TRL or some stuff.
Yeah.
And I was looking at him, and I'm like, what? Wait, hold on a second. It blew my mind. I thought they were dead, dude. And it blew my mind, and it just completely changed how I think about that kind of stuff. So now, like, I kind of know better, obviously. But I was a teenager, and they got me good, dude. I thought they for real all died out in the woods. If you go back and watch it now, it's not as convincing.
It's annoying now.
Yeah, but back then it was, especially when the stuff started actually happening, and like that was fucking scary, man.
Yeah, I hate movies when they say based off a true story. I'm like, these events are based off a true story. Man, if you want to take your ass somewhere else, some of that shit. Every time, like, I don't want to hear that stuff. Nah, I'm cool. I like fantasy. Fake stuff.
Well, Ryan, before we get out of here, we should let him know, we probably should have said this at the beginning, that we are now going to be putting out an episode until Ryan gets tired of me, every Tuesday and Thursday. So this is a Tuesday episode, so we're having another one come out on Thursday. So please subscribe to the channel, like this video, maybe share it somewhere. We're going to be talking about nerdy stuff. Today we was going to talk about Halloween and ghosts and stuff were off the bat, but somehow we got on to Marvel and that lasted almost an hour. So, but we are both socially awkward, or I know I am
Hey,
for sure.
it's a good thing when you can talk about something and just keep on talking because you're having a good time. So yes,
Yeah.
that's
And that's why
amazing.
that's why I didn't mind it. I'm like, hey, the fact that we have the ability to do that, I'm like, you just gotta go where the conversation takes you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But guys, thank you for watching episode 2 of the Socially Awkward podcast, and we'll see you guys on Thursday. See you, Ryan.
Later.
Try that one more time, buddy. There it is.